Hello again. It's fast approaching 10 minutes to 7. Thank you so much again for joining us. Let's turn our attention to this story now. This evening, the Nelson Mandela Centre for Memory will play host to the launch of a book called Critical Conversations About Heritage. The publication forms part of the National Heritage Council's 10-year anniversary in the 20th year of our democracy. It reflects on work executed by the council since inception and contemporary issues around our heritage. And it also encourages South Africans to read and write about their heritage, to create public discourse and discussion about the future preservation of our culture, and also find ways of featuring African heritage in the syllabus of basic education. Well, this morning I'm joined by the CEO of the National Heritage Council, Advocate Sonwabile Mangojwa. He's joining us here to just give us a more insight about the book, but also give away 5 copies of the book to Morning Live viewers. Free things. So listen up, because I'm going to give you some of the answers to the question we're going to ask today. So you want to listen up, all right? The question you need to be looking out for throughout the discussion is, how old is the National Heritage Council turning this year? I did give you the answer already, but listen up, I'll do it again because I'm looking out for you. You know that. Send your answers to @NHC South Africa, @NHC South Africa. That's via Twitter, I believe. And the first 5 correct answers will win. Then listen up, right? Okay. I'm going to start with the first question and hopefully give away the answer. Very good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Morning.
All right. In this Heritage Month, the NHC marking a decade of its existence, the first question I want to ask about this Critical Conversations About Heritage book is, what sort of conversations should we be having about our heritage at this stage?
We're happy to have launched this book. We have come along as the National Heritage Council. The type of discussion that we're supposed to be having is how do we ensure that heritage as a strategic resource to nation building and national identity indeed is infused in public life in South Africa. If you look at, for instance, now the world has become more multipolar than it was before. After the Cold War, we have seen dominance of America for a long time. Now we have seen emergence of the South. We have seen the emergence, for instance, of China. Now the matters of identity becomes very much critical at the moment as we stand. The issue is, how do we decolonize our African heritage? How do we raise this consciousness to South Africans and Africans about indeed being African? So these matters are very important. Ngugi wa Thiong'o had it to say that countries that invest on their own heritage are likely to become more active politically, and as well are likely to become more stronger economically. And then these are the kind of issues that we're raising in this book. For instance, the book is divided into 5 themes. We're talking about matters of social cohesion, respect for cultural rights. We're talking about paying tribute to stalwarts of the liberation struggle. We're talking about issues of heritage and economic development. And we're talking about issues of place names and how to place all of these in a melting pot of discussions. And then this book is a platform to ensure that we converse about heritage, because, as I said, heritage is a DNA that keeps our society together.
Now, there are some who believe that in this global village that we live in, you just spoke about cultural imperialism and this diversity that we enjoy in South Africa, that perhaps there's no need to focus on our roots or where we come from, heritage, because in a couple of years' time, we'll all be one melting pot of mixed masala, for lack of a better word. Why is it so important to distinguish ourselves from the rest and focus on our own heritage?
By the way, some people when talk about heritage, they talk about 300 years of colonialism and apartheid. But our heritage is more than that. We have to discover our own heritage, more than 4.5 billion years old. I mean, here you are talking about, the rock art. You are talking about, Homo sapiens. You are talking about many. In fact, we still have to expose our heritage. Still not know. That is why I would also share the view that, to say heritage is a bright day or whatever, you tend to trivialize it, and yet there's more that you should actually know. Remember, there's a saying that if you want to hide anything from a person, put it in a book or in a white cloth, then it will disappear. Heritage is about knowledge. The issue here is about contribution to the knowledge economy. And this is our own strength as Africa. how to ensure that we do that so that people know. Look at the discoveries that we know. Even Credit for Mankind. The Credit for Mankind, which is, the site that depicts that humanity comes from Africa. All these discoveries were done by white people, some of them not even, South Africans or Africans. So there's still, a need out there to ensure that this knowledge about our own heritage, about our national pride, is indeed invested, not only on young people, but also generally. We may not know certain things. It's actually, this book is about quest for knowledge. It's about how to ensure that we build a new consciousness amongst our people. That of ensuring that heritage is not just about celebrating on the 24th of September. There's more to it. That's why even these few minutes that we talk about heritage are not enough.
Never enough. And I'm glad you noted that, because we have run out of time. Critical Conversations About Heritage. This book will be launched today. Just to give you a taste, culture is a mindset, not an institution. South Africa can build a national identity. Church still has a role to play. These are just some of the issues that are tackled in this book. And we are giving away 5 copies for you, just for you. Gratis, free, mahala. You can see on the screen as we speak here that the super with the question of how old will the National Heritage Council be turning our 20 years of democracy. Here's a clue. It's half of the 20 years of the democracy. If you dropped medicine school, I can't do anything for you. Too bad. All right, so the National Heritage Council's 10-year anniversary, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. If you do have any answers to that question, you can just follow there. I think it's at NHC South Africa is where you can send your answers. The first 5 people to tweet that answer will get a copy of this book. Definitely worth reading, especially when it comes to the knowledge economy. All right, let me stop and hand you over